Wrestling fans, we are live tonight in Mobile, Alabama for DCW Synergy. My name is Walker Stewart alongside Carmen Michael. We have a jam-packed episode of Synergy here tonight, including, Carmen, the continuation of our DCW Tag Team title tournament.
A new tag team champion will be crowned here tonight at the Diamond Standard of the Gulf Coast, Walker.
I, for one, can't wait for it. DCW Women's Championship on the line as well. So much to come. We're going to send it right down to ringside for DCW Synergy.
Ladies and gentlemen, your opening contest scheduled for one fall is a semi-final match in the DCW Tag Team Championship Tournament. Introducing first, from Gulfport, Mississippi, Thaddeus Takeover Collins.
Well, it very well may be, Carmen Michael, a V10 takeover here tonight on DCW Synergy, as we welcome now our new DCW Heavyweight Champion alongside Thaddeus Collins. It's going to be the man known as V10, Andy Hansen.
Partner from Talladega, Alabama, he is the DCW Heavyweight Champion, Andy V10 Hansen!
Your new DCW Heavyweight Champion. He's got the grit, he's got the determination. We'll see if here tonight he has the horsepower to go the distance. If he wants that tag team gold, not just one matchup here tonight, we'll have to be successful in two.
And we're going to find out, of course, our main event set, the final of the DCW Tag Team Championship Tournament. 7 days in counting as DCW Heavyweight Champion for V10 Andy Hansen. The question being, could he walk out double gold here tonight?
Hey, what a week it's been for Andy V10 Hansen. Certainly, you see the smile on his face. You have not been able to erase that all week. He's as proud as can be, but the work continues here tonight, Walker.
And their opponents. From McAllen, Texas, built different, Donald Blake.
What is built different? Donald Blake, who makes his way down to ringside. And, well, the new tag team now formed, Built Playboy, between Donald Blake and Brian Baudelaire, set to compete in our semifinal match tonight.
Blake, a bit of an outlaw, doesn't always work well with others. However,
in Calabasas, California, the Playboy, Brian Baudelaire.
I certainly do apologize to David Storm, but to continue my thought, if he wants to hold championship gold once again here in DCW, he's going to have to play along well with the Playboy, Brian Baudelaire.
Well, the Playboy has built a lot of things in his career. He's built empires. He is now looking to build a huge resume as a champion going further in Diamond Championship Wrestling. Is this the next step? Will it be Donald Blake and Brian Baudelaire, who we see compete in our final tonight? This match is going to determine it.
When it comes to Baudelaire, it's all about the fame, the fortune, the success, the women, the money, the cars, and the fast track to get there, Walker, is with championship gold.
It is, of course, semifinal action here tonight in the DCW Tag Team Championship Tournament. Our main event, we will crown a new pair of DCW Tag Team title holders. Bell sounds were officially underway. No time limit here tonight in this tournament matchup, as we are set for Donald Blake and Andy V10 Hansen. Talk to me a little bit about how we got here. It was 1 week ago where Blake and Baudelaire would find themselves victorious, not in a tag team match, but in a handicap match after a very shocking beatdown on Uncle Earl.
Well, with this tournament comes the opportunity, of course, the tag team championships vacated. Someone's going to step up, become champion. And what we saw, Uncle Earl willing to go into battle on his own, whether that was a smart idea or not. He showed a lot of heart, showed a lot of passion. However, Baudelaire and Blake staying one step ahead, able to bring him down, but with a little bit of help from the Colt.
Well, I mean, we talk about passion. Let's talk about Jack Passion. Let's talk about the former DCW heavyweight champion and a man who will be competing later on here tonight in semi-main event, or rather semi-final competition. Soon to come after this. I mean, Jack Passion no longer the DCW heavyweight champion, and it was all because of the courageous act of V10 stepping up to the challenge, pinning the champion in a sub-60-second affair.
Hey, he's had a week to dwell on it. He's had a week to stew on the thoughts. He's in a worse mood here tonight than he was last week. And I got to say, I feel bad for anyone who stands in the ring with Jack Passion.
Well, that's soon to come here tonight at DCW Synergy. As it is built different, Donald Blake certainly being dismantled. However, he's been built here tonight by V10 Andy Hansen. I mean, you look at the size on a man like Hansen, amateur background on V10 as well, and we're certainly seeing that put to work here.
Hansen looking to pick apart the former tag team champion. All that pressure on the shoulder now. Hansen doing his best to push down one of the most powerful teams we have in the field here. Yeah, Andy V10 Hansen as well as the Takeover.
Right, you're right about that. I said it just last week. Tag made in the corner. Here comes Takeover Thaddeus Collins. This very well may be my pick to win, but I mean, how do you bet against a team that features a man the size of Thaddeus Collins and the DCW heavyweight champion? Look at this.
Seeing the man the size of Thaddeus Collins shouldn't be able to do that.
Wow, cover here. Sunset flip for two from Takeover. Tag in the corner. Here comes Brian Baudelaire.
Impressive athleticism here from Takeover.
Did you see the snap on that?
Good God.
Cover here, caught two. And Thaddeus Collins, man, a shock to the system. Thaddeus Collins is going to be no matter who he's stepping into the ring against. You're talking about really two men in V10 and Takeover who are going to outsize both Blake and Baudelaire.
Looking to put things away quickly here. Going for the tandem.
And a cover here for the heavyweight champion of DCW. 2 count only on Brian Baudelaire.
Baudelaire absolutely flattened there between the bodies of V10 Hansen and the Takeover Collins.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Brian Baudelaire earlier on in the evening. Told me that he plans on winning the championship for, quote, the money and the honeys. I can't wait to see if that comes the way of Baudelaire.
Got to be careful not to count your chickens before they hatch. He's certainly ready to celebrate.
Yep, as Donald Blake now inside the ring and made that tag earlier on. And V10 going to make a tag as well. Takeover Collins back inside. Oh, and talk about a takeover. Oh, wow.
These two coming together well.
Cover here for Collins, and it's a 2 count only. I mean, it's so difficult to find a man the size of Thaddeus Collins with the athleticism that man possesses, but the attack from behind from Brian Baudelaire there.
Baudelaire with a keen eye. He saw the wince on the face of Takeover Collins as he stood up. He saw that weakness. He saw that knee was causing him problems.
You know, talk to me about the key to victory here for Donald Blake and Brian Baudelaire. We talked about these two men being outsized by their opposition. What goes in the favor of these two men?
It's all about isolation right now. They're trying to do that with the big man, and with it, both competitors being much larger than they are, they have to be sure to weaken the legs to keep them down horizontal.
You saw that earlier on with Brian Baudelaire, that running chop block from behind, and now it is Donald Blake who's putting the pressure in. Oh, as Collins just collapsing to the canvas here. I mean, V10 really wanting that tag here in the corner, Carmen, and it's beautiful execution of what tag team wrestling is built on. Cutting the ring in half, keeping your opponent in your corner. It's keeping dominion right now.
It's frustrating watching your friend take punishment inside the ring. However, nothing that V10 Hansen can do right now as Donald Blake just continues to pick away at that knee.
As Donald Blake has made the tag in the corner, here comes Brian Baudelaire, the Playboy, back in action here. Baudelaire may not have a lot in the size department, but what he lacks in the size is going to make up for in his in-ring IQ, and that's something that has set Baudelaire apart from many in the young class out of the Diamond Mine.
He rubs a lot of people the wrong way. We saw how he got under the skin of Scott Armstrong. Was getting under the skin enough that it caused Scott Armstrong to come out of retirement one night only to have a street fight. Brian Baudelaire will forever go down in history as the last match of Scott Armstrong, purely based on the fact of how annoying he can be.
You know, and you're right about that, and that's a great thing to have under your cap, but beating Scott Armstrong in his retirement, all due respect to Armstrong, is not going to win you a championship. Oh, but that right there could ascend in the goal, and Baudelaire managing to hit the capture on it.
Evasive maneuver right there. Baudelaire staying in the game, staying one step ahead, and now smelling the blood in the water. Looks to continue the attack.
I mean, what you're seeing right now is Baudelaire struggling to maneuver, take over Collins around the ring right now. It's going to take two to tango. And Brian Baudelaire has got to try and make up for the size he lacks.
Very wise to point out there. You saw Baudelaire placing his body between Collins and Andy V10 Hansen, making it that much more difficult for Collins to make that tag, that well-needed tag, because Collins is in a bad way, folks.
Again, that in-ring IQ, what did we talk about earlier? Taking the target to the lower half of the body of Collins, and that is exactly what we're seeing. That specific target, that left knee, watch the cover, just a 1 count, but you notice he hooked that injured left knee there, Colin. Oh, and Carmen, we are seeing it, we are feeling it right now. Frustration building for Brian here. Tag man in the corner, welcome back Donald Blake into the conversation. I mean, V10, again, the DCW heavyweight champion has no choice but just to watch on as his pal and Thaddeus Takeover Collins is being dismantled inside this ring by Built Playboy.
Collins, despite the weakened lower frame, still packs quite the punch, still has the power. We're seeing that launching Blake into the corner.
Wow. And just like that, Takeover is going to change the conversation on a dime.
I'm not sure how wise this one is.
Yeah, had the choice for a tag, said he was going to do it all on his own, and hoisted by his own hubris right there is Takeover Collins.
Give credit where credit's due. Baudelaire hasn't always been a team player, but very much helped out there with Blake, pulling him closer to the corner.
It is your opening match of the evening tonight on DCW Synergy. And V10 gonna be looking for the tag. Here comes Baudelaire. Here comes everybody.
In comes the champion. The champion fired up and now firing away on Donald Blake and Baudelaire.
Shot for shot for shot, but right from behind comes Donald Blake, and here comes Thaddeus Collins.
Collins looking to equalize things here.
And right to the outside goes Donald Blake. Meanwhile, Baudelaire all alone inside that ring with two of the biggest men on the DCW roster. And this right here is what won the first round match for these two. We might see it again here, Carmen.
Things are not looking good for Baudelaire.
Power slam. Cover here for V10. And they're through to the finals.
Here are your winners. The team of Thaddeus Takeover Collins and the DCW Heavyweight Champion, Andy V10 Hansen.
Andy Hansen and Thaddeus Collins now confirmed wrestling fans for the main event of tonight's edition of DCW Synergy. The question remaining, who will be meeting them in that main event match? Will it be this newfound alliance, or will we see the Pillars of Pain? We're going to find out coming up next.
The beach is always just a lime away. Corona, La Playa awaits.
Some dream of curling up on the couch for the night. Others dream of spending all day in their outdoor oasis.
My favorite.
Whatever the dream, it's in reach. At IKEA, dream the possibilities.
I take myself up to keep from snacking.
You should try Wonderful Pistachios. They're tasty and healthy.
Delicious. High five.
See you out there.
Introducing new Frosted Sodas and Floats. Only at Chick-fil-A.
Everybody come clap your hands. Oh, don't you know when you dance, you've got to smile or you can't cry. Try it a while, you'll be surprised. Baby,
Float.
it's a rock and roll
Hop,
music. I said I
spin,
need you.
and slide like an original. The original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new Frosted Sodas and Floats. Only at Chick-fil-A.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is the other semifinal match in the DCW Tag Team Championship Tournament. Introducing first, the team of Leo Valentino and Mason Mosley, the Pillars of Pain.
Well, on paper here tonight, our final semifinal match of the evening is indeed the Pillars of Pain taking on the Alliance, this newfound combination of Cotterell and, well, the former DCW heavyweight champion we'll be seeing make their way down to ringside later on. But in a spiritual sense, it's almost inter-faction action we're getting tonight, Carmen.
When the bracket was revealed earlier today, it turned a lot of heads, had a lot of people talking. The Pillars of Pain, led by one Crusher Cottrell, now find themselves set to battle it out against their own leader alongside Jack Passion. Nonetheless, these two men focused, ready for war, ready to give it their all.
It is Leo Valentino and 1 in a million, Mason Mosley.
Representing the Pillars of Pain, from Navarre, Florida, the Anomaly, Crusher Cottrell.
And the only thing on my mind, Carmen Michael, is the question being this. If you are the other members of Pillars of Pain and you see Crusher Cottrell coddling up with one of your biggest rivals you've had in your career, how the hell are you going to feel?
At the end of the day, it's all about championship gold. They're willing to overlook everything.
The Rarity, Jack Passion.
I'm certain it doesn't feel good for the Pillars of Pain to see Jack Passion enter the fold, especially after months and months of Crusher Cottrell leading the charge, issuing the game plan for the Pillars of Pain to attack Jack Passion, to weaken Jack Passion ahead of their steel cage matchup. And now with Jack Passion and Crusher Cottrell forming this unholy alliance, I can't help but think that the Pillars of Pain could possibly be feeling a little pushed out.
Well, we can act all we want on assumptions, Carmen, but we do not know the truth behind what the remaining members of the Pillars of Pain truly feel about this interaction, this alliance, if you'll call it that, with Cottrell and Passion. But truth be told, you have to know that there might be a little bit of animosity. But if you were able to put that animosity aside, if these four men could all find themselves on the same page after tonight, you are looking at the most devastating unit, not just in DCW, but in all of professional wrestling.
I think the story is in the eyes. I'm not sure if it was captured by our cameras, but you saw on the outside Valentino having some choice words for Jack Passion. However, a little bit more of a conflicted look towards Crusher Cottrell.
We are set for tag team competition here tonight. The winner of this match will meet Andy Hansen and Thaddeus Collins in our main event to crown new DCW Tag Team Champions. Bell sounds, we're officially underway. No time limit in this tournament bout as we are set off. Crusher Cottrell, and talk to me a little bit more about the Pillars of Pain, the devastation that these two men have managed to bring to the DCW roster.
Well, Cottrell certainly, when he brought the Pillars of Pain together, it was more mind games than anything, because Jack Passion was friends alongside Andy V10 Hansen with this man you see here, 1 in a million, Mason Mosley. For all intents and purposes, was a great kid, was someone that a lot of people thought the world of, that thought had a world of potential. But when joining forces with Crusher Cottrell, we've really seen a much different side of him.
You know, it's really interesting. You talk about Mason Mosley being painted back in his younger days as, you know, a good kid, a good hand, whatever it is you might phrase it as. Mason Mosley knows just as well as what many of us know in professional wrestling that being a good individual, being and going about the moral way isn't always the most direct path to success. Now the Pillars of Pain might be on the closest path to success they've been on in a hot second on the way to the DCW Tag Team titles.
Well, it was years ago as a child, was growing up watching wrestling alongside Andy V10 Hansen, really associated himself with the likes of Rey Mysterio, these smaller athletes. He was no stranger to being an underdog. And it was Andy V10 Hansen that really convinced Mason Mosley to enter the wrestling business. And that's why it shocked the world when Mason Mosley turned his back and attacked Andy V10 Hansen.
You were certainly seeing a lot of shocking moments recently in Diamond Championship Wrestling. Vacated DCW Tag Team titles, a tournament held over the past 2 weeks to crown new DCW Tag Team Champions. And we could be looking at, well, one pair here tonight. And will it be the side of Crusher Cottrell, or very well could it be Mason Mosley?
Look at the power here. Oh, Cottrell brought down.
Yeah, I appreciate this. A nice and tight chin lock. Taught the best in the Diamond Mine here at DCW in Mobile, Alabama.
An excellent place to get your start if you're looking for your pro wrestling journey to begin.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And, we breed them the best around here in the Diamond Mine, and Mason Mosley, absolutely a showcase of that fact. Crusher Cottrell, though, talking a little bit more about this man. We could talk about his highlights all day long. Multiple D1 offers whenever he was considering pursuits at university here in the United States. Taking time to say no to all of those D1 universities and to hone his craft in professional wrestling here at the Diamond Mine.
I think it goes to show just how much this means to Crusher Cottrell, for one, but two, just how important the Diamond Mine is for the world of professional wrestling. And now at one point, Crusher Cottrell and Jack Passion as well had a world of respect for Scott Armstrong, and see that just thrown to the wayside like we saw last week to me, it's disheartening.
Yep. I know that there is not a lot of respect on either side for many when it comes to Leo Valentino and Jack Passion, but you talk about a need-to-win situation. Jack Passion last week losing the DCW Heavyweight Championship after a 55-day reign that he had to come out here and gloat about in front of Scott Armstrong, in front of Tom Pritchard of all people, and instead you saw what happened to him. You got to put your results up. You want to be able to walk around and call yourself the best around.
Passion certainly no stranger to an upset. It was Leo Valentino. We saw him put away Jack Passion. You got to give the assist to Crusher Cottrell. It was weeks later that we saw Valentino join forces with Cottrell, thus forming the Pillars of Pain.
Right.
They've been such a dominant force here for months in DCW, and the numbers continue to grow with the addition of Jack Passion.
And now this combination of Crusher Cottrell and Jack Passion, the alliance, as they have dubbed themselves, almost an unholy force. There was once a time in professional wrestling we never could have imagined these two men standing in the same corner. Now they're gunning for tag team gold alongside one another.
For a year and a half, these two men were at each other's throats. We're going to war, bloody battles. We've had pull-aparts after pull-aparts. We've had contract signings go awry, and these two men now seemingly have come together as one cohesive unit. And I think that spells disaster for a lot of folks here at DCW.
And Jack Passion, a need-to-win situation here, and it is Valentino who's going to make his way between those ropes. That's going to be a force of separation here for our official. And right back into the corner here come the Pillars, and it is absolutely a need-to-win spot for Passion now.
Got to say, Passion holding that defeat very well from last week, not letting it affect him here tonight.
And a cover here one more time, not going to be enough for Mason Mosley.
Mosley had quite the angle there on that Bulldog, able to get down all the weight, driving Passion face first into the mat.
It is one in a million right now. This side headlock locked in for Mason Mosley on the former DCW heavyweight champion Jack Passion. And driving directly into the Pillar of Pain corner. Tag rope adhered to, tag made. And here comes Valentino inside now. Meeting in the middle, double super kick. And squishing the sides of the skull of Jack Passion here.
Valentino not happy yet, wants to inflict more punishment. Perhaps the most dangerous member of the DCW roster. Oh, and a stiff right hand from Jack!
And that is not going to be anything that Valentino is going to let lie.
My God!
I mean, you're almost starting to feel like this is a welcome to the business moment for Jack Passion in the Pillars of Pain.
Oh, and a right hand to Crusher Cottrell!
Pillars of Pain looking to indoctrinate Jack Passion in, but it's got to be off the course of a loss. Here comes Cottrell down now.
A little miscommunication here from the Alliance, and the Pillars of Pain looking to take advantage.
And the Alliance really driving the struggle bus right now. Here we go, off the ropes. Tripped up here, Valentino. And Jack Passion right on the offense again.
Seemingly back on the same page. Passion looking to take advantage there of the assist from Crusher Cottrell.
And they trade one championship for another to go from the top of the heavyweight division to the top of the tag team division alongside a newfound partner. Here comes Crusher Cottrell to try and aid in that dream. And double suplexes there from Crusher Cottrell. Cover here. And the 19-year-old Cottrell going to have to do a little bit more to fight for a 3 count.
Cottrell has really carried this company on his back, much like Jack Passion these last few years. I mean, what can you say about Crusher Cottrell? I mean, you see the physique, you see the power. This kid is an absolute prodigy with a world of potential.
And Crusher Cottrell really keeping this chin lock locked in tight here. Cottrell whips into the ropes. Back elbow lands down Valentino. Cover here again. This could be the one. Still not enough to become your finalist.
This is a dominant performance here from Cottrell. Folks, tonight's action brought to you by the Stables Bar, your go-to spot in downtown Mobile to catch all the biggest games. So grab your crew, saddle up to the bar, and come relax in their neighborhood.
Well, Jack Passion is in the neighborhood of a potential victory right now as you're starting to see a little bit more of oil being poured on this machine right now. Jack Passion and Crusher Cottrell really filing in and out here. You know, we talk about great tag team professional wrestling. We've seen a lot of great tag team wrestlers. We talked about Scott Armstrong and Tom Pritchard earlier on in the night. Earlier on last week, rather. It is Crusher Cottrell who's really putting the emphasis in here as to what it means to cut the ring in half.
These two working together so well thus far.
Ooh.
With the throne empty here for the tag team division. Someone's got to step up.
That's beautiful. Beautiful technique on the cover here. Still not going to be enough. Not yet to take down the Pillars of Pain. You know, a lot of these in-between moments, a lot of the pressure that's being put in right here, these chin locks being traded back and forth in the interim, Carmen. It's the moments where you start to understand which professional wrestlers were meant to compete in this sport and which ones are not meant to be cut out for it. And you're starting to see that these four men are absolutely meant to be champions here in DCW. The question being, when and could it be tonight?
I've always said the in-between separate the contenders from the pretenders. And you mentioned it, we're seeing a masterclass right now in tag team wrestling from these two teams.
Chop right to the back. You can't tense your back enough to prepare for a shot like that. As a cover here for Jack Passion again. 2 count only on Valentino.
And it's one thing when you can see the chop coming, you can brace yourself. However, when it's coming from behind, you never know when it's going to hit you. Those heavy hands from Jack Passion.
Tag made in the corner. Here comes Crusher Cottrell back into it.
I was wondering if Cottrell getting a little distracted by the crowd here at the Bullet Bob Armstrong Memorial Arena.
Well, it's hard not to get distracted under the bright lights. You're 19 years of age, fighting for an opportunity, fighting for your life right now, or both sides of the equation.
It's not often we see a rookie mistake out of Crusher Cottrell. However, may have been caught lacking there.
Tag made in the corner. Here come both men. Jack Passion at Mason Mosley, and Mosley looking to be a one-man wrecking crew right now.
Mosley full steam ahead, and in comes Cottrell.
Yeah, and this is the alliance working in full force right here. You are certainly, good God have mercy. The cover here for Passion, broken up by Valentino. You're starting to see the divide, if not in reality, but in this right here. This is what we're looking at. Cottrell now with closed fists here, laying in on Leo Valentino.
Things are breaking down now. I'm not sure what this means for the Pillars of Pain as far as it concerns Cottrell.
A passionate cutter. Wait a minute. Well, that was a foot that was on the bottom rope, pushed right off by Crusher Cottrell.
Your winners, the team of Crusher Cottrell and Jack Passion.
A referee didn't see it, Carmen.
I mean, you nailed it, Walker. The foot was on the bottom rope. Cottrell seeing what we all saw, pushing the foot off the bottom rope, and nonetheless, the Alliance with a victory here, moving on to the finals.
And our final is now set. Wrestling fans, you will not want to go anywhere. Our main event for the DCW Tag Team titles coming later on tonight, but coming up next, the DCW Women's Championship is up for grabs.
Whoa, you know where I wanna go. Dancing in the afterglow. Sunset putting on a show. Oh. Whoa.
Wellness perfectly picked for you. Now at Target.
Just stress sweating through my third set of scrubs. Totally normal, very healthy. I'm sure it's not a sign of emotional unraveling.
You need new Secret Clinical Antiperspirant, STAT. Secret gives 3 times more stress sweat protection.
Thanks. Got a punch.
Secret, stay fresher under pressure.
What do you think about T-Mobile Home Internet only being $35 a month?
We need to take your mind off of this. Come check out my new man cave.
T-Mobile's got home internet, just $35 a month, and it's guaranteed for 5 years.
Introducing the new GLP-1 pill on Ro. It's the same weight loss ingredient as the shot, now in a pill. The first ever FDA-approved GLP-1 pill for weight loss on Ro, with an innovative formula that finally unlocks real GLP-1 results in a pill. 1 pill a day to lose 14% of your body weight in a year. The lowest price FDA-approved GLP-1 ever. Now on Row.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the DCW Women's Championship.
When you talk about development in professional wrestling, you can look to your different pro wrestling organizations in their schools, but we breed them the best here in the Diamond Mine. We talk about it all the time here in Mobile, Alabama. You are about to see two of the best representative for women's wrestling, period, here tonight for the DCW Women's Championship.
Judy Lee Taylor, a product of the JPWA, trained by Dr. Tom Pritchard, making her debut here tonight in DCW. She's made waves all across the United States. You've seen her in the National Wrestling Alliance. You've seen her all across the Southeast. Here tonight, she's looking to turn a lot of heads and walk out with the DCW Women's Championship.
And it is indeed your DCW Women's Champion here tonight. Nobody is here to rock more than Miss Bobbi Thunder.
Hey, we'll see if Bobbi Thunder is able to break out the nice red Solo Cups here tonight in celebration, should she retain.
I heard you busted out the red Solo Cups a while ago, Carmen.
Hey, man, it's been a great night. From the double wide to worldwide, the bodacious bassist has been rocking airwaves in wrestling arenas alike. Here tonight, the punk rock powerhouse, entering her 55th day as champion. We'll see if she's able to hold on for one more day.
Introducing first, the challenger from the Snake Farm. She is Sweet Judy Lee Taylor. And her opponent, from the double wide to worldwide, she is your DCW Women's Champion, Bobbi Thunder.
Carmen, you know yourself a little bit about going from the double wide to the worldwide, and it is Bobbi Thunder who represents that in the flesh here as DCW Women's Champion. Talk to me a little bit about this woman.
Bobbi Thunder has made so many waves, originally starting at the Nightmare Factory, trained by Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall. Took a couple years away from the business, went and toured with a rock band, and now she's made her way back to the world of professional wrestling, looking to continue her education with the legendary Scott Armstrong. And let me tell you, this is a completely different Bobbi Thunder than we've seen in years past.
And we take a look at it now, Bobbi Thunder and her opponent here tonight. And, you know, a very interesting individual in Judy Lee Taylor. You talk about that National Wrestling Alliance representation all over the Mid-South United States. Judy Lee Taylor challenging tonight for the DCW Women's Championship. And there has been a long list of incredible women who have held that DCW Women's title before.
Bobbi Thunder looking to continue that legacy here tonight. Judy Lee Taylor looking to add her name to the list. Sweet may be the moniker, but folks, let me tell you, there is nothing sweet about Judy Lee Taylor here tonight. These two very similar. I think any other time these two could be possibly best friends. Hold on, cover. Thought a cover being made. These two could very much hang out and get along. However, here tonight, Judy Lee Taylor focused when it comes to championship gold. She's not going to let anything get in between her.
Yeah, it's not about hanging it out. It's about hanging in and hanging into the top contendership in Diamond Championship Wrestling. In the DCW Women's Championship, the highest prize, especially here, the Diamond Standard in the state of Alabama. As it is Judy Lee Taylor keeping in tight here on the rear chin lock.
That's exactly what Taylor has to do. Has to use that strength to her advantage. A competitive CrossFit athlete. She's certainly got the strength.
Carmen, talk to me a little bit about what the biggest strength Bobbi Thunder has in this encounter.
It's the unpredictability. You never know what to expect from Bobbi Thunder. Sure, she's got the strength as well, the power as well, but it's really that offbeat nature. Sometimes you expect things in a certain rhythm in the wrestling ring. Sometimes she catches you on the offbeat, takes you by surprise.
Right, and it's those individuals that catch on the offbeat the most that sometimes can become some of the most unorthodox and greatest champions. You'll see that not just in pro wrestling, but all of combat sports, all of professional sports generally. So you're starting to see that with the DCW Women's Champion in representation. I have to wonder if Judy Lee Taylor is going to be able to overcome that.
Taylor's held championship gold all across the United States. Looking to add one more title to her mantle.
Right now the pressure being kept in for Judy Lee Taylor on Bobbi Thunder.
I mean, you can see the pressure there. Judy Lee Taylor really wrenching back, putting her all into this. Looking to hyperextend the arm. Put Bobbi Thunder in a bad way.
Still to come, wrestling fans, we will be crowning new DCW Tag Team Champions in our main event, the final of our tournament. You are not going to want to miss a thing, just like you are not going to want to miss what happens in this women's title matchup.
Thunder was able to alleviate a little bit of the pressure, but at the end of the day, had to fight her way out, throw some hands.
Yeah, incredible power and strength there out of Judy Lee Taylor, and that's something to talk about, working around the unexpected. Bobbi Thunder did not expect that power out of Taylor tonight.
Bobbi Thunder, who won the DCW Women's Championship her very first night here. Certainly knows what it takes to show up and shock the world. And here tonight, finds herself in a much different predicament. Judy Lee Taylor looking to do the same.
There are some people who will say you win a championship on your first night in pro wrestling, you get beginner's luck. And it's the goal of Bobbi Thunder to prove there is no luck in professional wrestling. Judy Lee Taylor looking to steal any luck she might have away.
Excellent defense there from Judy Lee Taylor. You saw Bobbi Thunder trying to position Taylor, perhaps going for a submission, but Taylor using those strong legs, much like we just saw from Thunder.
And we're back to the standoff here between Bobbi Thunder and Judy Lee.
Oh! Things are breaking down now.
Yeah, and that strength is not just coming the ability for Judy Lee Taylor to lift you straight above her head into military press. It comes in the strikes as well. Ooh, and you can see it, you can hear it as well.
These two, no strangers to letting the fists fly, no strangers to the fisticuffs. They both find themselves in quite a few Waffle House brawls. I think that translates pretty well to the world of professional wrestling.
Well, certainly here in the state of Alabama, huh? Mobile's finest here.
Hey, I got a place to take you after this.
I believe you. Judy Lee Taylor and Bobbi Thunder continue to battle for the DCW Women's Championship here tonight in our semi-main event. Out of the corner, and Bobbi Thunder, evasive shot there. Going to take things around for Judy Lee back inside the ring.
Thunder staying one step ahead now, a little bit of a do-si-do.
Yep, that's classic. Russian leg sweep from Bobbi Thunder again.
Oh, looking to stand on Bobbi business.
Bobbi business.
Going 10 toes down.
Fargo strut in style, the cover, and it's a 2. Well, I think we all might be in the Bobbi business now that I'm listening to these fans here in Mobile.
Let me tell you, they don't make them quite like Bobbi Thunder anywhere. And the crowd here in Mobile, Alabama certainly have gravitated towards her over this past year. Our official, Adam Hunter, looking to keep things nice and clean here.
Yeah, again, Judy Lee Taylor, I mean, unorthodox offense there. Just tossing around the body of her opponent. Any corner, any direction that she can find, wherever there's going to be open air, Bobbi Thunder's body may be crossing through it.
It's not typically what we see out of Judy Lee Taylor, however, here tonight. A much more aggressive streak. She's focused. She wants that championship.
Divorce court there, separation of the arm and shoulder. As you take the look one more time, Judy Lee Taylor, you personified her as this powerful athlete. You know, you didn't talk about her submission game, though. The power submission offense of Judy Lee Taylor, so underrated in the modern day sport of pro wrestling.
Those traps working overtime now for Taylor. She's wrenching back. Thunder crawling, trying to make her way to the bottom rope. Fingertips away and finally makes it.
Oh, and the rake of the back from Judy Lee. That's just plain nasty.
Not afraid to get a little dirty here, getting some skin under the fingernails.
Yeah, devastating. You know, we talk about Often in professional wrestling, a slow, methodical pace for certain athletes, and you're starting to feel it for Judy Lee Taylor. The more time that she spends center of the ring right now, squeezing the air out of the lungs of Bobbi Thunder, well, the more time she's going to have to celebrate before Bobbi Thunder gains consciousness.
Look at this, not only grapevining the legs around Bobbi Thunder, now into the pinfall.
Cover here, 2 count only, right back through, and again, those legs tight around the midsection.
That's the second time she went for that. You saw the first time Bobbi Thunder had it scouted.
See it a third, just kidding. Here we go. Do-si-do around the ring. And Judy Lee Taylor, the train's got to stop somewhere. And Bobbi Thunder's not getting off at this station.
Looking to take Thunder on a world tour. Thunder was able to escape the first one, laying face first on the mat, however, unable to avoid the rest. And now,
yep, shoulders down, 2 count only. And that right there is going to be what forces the separation.
You can see that anger and intensity growing on the face of Judy Lee Taylor the longer this matchup goes on.
You know, we talk about some of these younger athletes, these younger students. You talk about 55 days ago making her debut and becoming DCW Women's Champion. The longer this matchup goes on here, well, truth be told, Carmen, I truly think that Judy Lee might have it in the bag when it comes to the gas tank.
That's 55 days ago that we saw Bobbi Thunder defeat Viral Lestrange in a tables match.
Right.
Able to put away one of her most notorious foes, Bobbi Thunder, a multiple-time DCW Women's Champion, as Judy Lee Taylor looks to claim her first.
Let's watch it. Oh, planting down center. And a cover here for Judy Lee, 2 count only. And we nearly saw a new DCW Women's Champion there.
Now look at the disgust, just continues to grow on the face of Judy Lee Taylor. I don't want to say she entered this matchup thinking she had an easy night. However, I think Bobbi Thunder's putting up much more of a fight than Taylor was expecting.
Well, there's an experience differential. I'd argue as well there's an element of representing the Jacob Pritchard's Wrestling Academy here at the Diamond Mine. Scott Armstrong and Tom Pritchard, longtime good pals. But, I mean, when it comes to this matchup, though, there is going to be a war between these two dojos.
See the pressure now being applied to the elbow of Thunder. Thunder back to her feet.
Right for right, shot for shot, all for the DCW Women's title, the Diamond Standard in women's wrestling today.
Looking to settle it with her fists. Who's the better woman? We're about to find out.
Turn it around. Back elbow shot there from Thunder. There's a nasty, nasty shot on Judy Lee Taylor right there, Carmen.
Throwing Taylor off balance. And now Thunder looking to take advantage.
Ooh, and Bobbi Business is on the rise here tonight. As Thunder, hook of the inner leg, wanted it deep, but not enough to retain the women's title.
Hey, stocks are rising for Bobbi Business. I'd say go ahead and buy now.
Carmen, the deeper that we go into this matchup, we have no time limit for any of our matches on this episode of Synergy, but, well, Bobbi Thunder has got to be feeling every single second that is passing by.
He's certainly feeling that. A handful of hair from Taylor.
Now Taylor going to try and power up Bobbi Thunder.
Going for that torture rack.
Now we can see it here.
The signature move of Judy Lee Taylor.
No.
Certainly a move that she has perfected in her short time in the world of professional wrestling, but now calling for the jackhammer.
Oh, the physique to match it. The jackhammer. No! Swings around. The element of surprise here. Cover here. One more time for Taylor, and it's 2.
Much like we talked about the unpredictability of Bobbi Thunder, Judy Lee Taylor reaching deep into her bag of tricks as well.
And again, right back to the rear chin lock, right back to the fundamentals. And that's what you're going to see a massive emphasis for here in Synergy, here with trainees and trainers and everyone involved out of the Diamond Mine or the JPWA, is the emphasis on the basics, because that right there is a building block to becoming a star.
The basics are tried and true for a reason. Clearly they work, and now.
Bobbi Thunder's got to do the work, though. Bobbi Thunder has got to try and find a way, getting a little topsy-turvy here. And needs to find herself on the offense again. And this is as close as she's gotten to it in a hot second here, Carmen.
You notice the way Thunder grabbed the wrist of Judy Lee Taylor, looking to keep her close.
It is getting messy out here, folks. It is the scrap for the women's championship up for grabs. Wants to cover
Thunder.
for Bobbi.
She's done it!
We've seen it. A 3 count here tonight.
Here is your winner, and still DCW Women's Champion, Bobbi Thunder!
Well, and Judy Lee Taylor here is claiming that Bobbi Thunder pulled on the tights. I mean, we might need to get a replay here, Carmen.
Very tense moment here to close out the matchup. Nonetheless, Bobbi Thunder standing on Bobbi business, retaining the championship. And now extending the hand.
Oh, well, you said it yourself. On any other day, these two women might be having a laugh over what just happened, but there's no laughing tonight over the DCW Women's Championship. Wrestling fans, right after this, we'll be here for our main event. We're going to crown new DCW Tag Team Champions.
You know what I miss most about playing? Yelling, "Hey!" So I got this job. I got your pizza. Hey! Brady's back. Pizza Hut!
The goat?
Pizza Hut! Mom! Roughing the passer.
Shake it off, Gramps.
Get our biggest pizza for the biggest games. The Big New Yorker for only $10. Don't forget the pizza before the...
The beach is always just a lime away. Corona, La Playa awaits.
Some dream of curling up on the couch for the night. Others dream of spending all day in their outdoor oasis.
You're my favorite.
Whatever the dream, it's in reach. At IKEA, dream the possibilities.
I take myself up to keep from snacking.
You should try Wonderful Pistachios. They're tasty and healthy.
Delicious. High five.
See you out there.
Introducing new frosted sodas and floats. Only at Chick-fil-A.
Everybody come clap your hands. Oh, don't you know when you dance, you've got to smile or you can't cry. Try it a while, you'll be surprised. Baby,
Float.
it's a rock and roll
Hop,
music. I said I
spin, and slide like an original. The original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats. Only at Chick-fil-A.
Whoa, you know where I wanna go. Dancing in the afterglow. Sunset putting on a show. Oh, whoa.
Wellness perfectly picked for you. Now at Target.
Well, wrestling fans, Walker Stewart alongside Carmen Michael, and we are right back here for DCW Synergy. Our main event is set. We're going to crown new DCW Tag Team Champions.
It does not get any bigger than this. The team of Andy V10 Hansen and Thaddeus Takeover Collins set to take on the team of the Alliance. They've been dominant this entire run through the tournament. We'll see if that luck continues here in our main event.
Well, our third round, our final is set. We're going to send it right down to ringside.
Our main event this evening is the finals of the DCW Tag Team Championship Tournament, where the winners will be declared the new DCW Tag Team Champions.
Our main event here tonight is set after 2 rounds. We come to our third and final. In this one, the most important, Carmen, it's for all the marbles. It's for all the silver and gold. The DCW Tag Team Championship up for grabs here in our DCW Synergy main event.
And keep in mind, it was 7 days ago that Thaddeus Takeover Collins and Andy V10 Hansen made the save for Scott Armstrong and Dr. Tom Pritchard. Thankfully, before the Alliance could do anything too dastardly, it looked like they were setting up to do. And now here 7 days later, challenging for the Tag Team Championships, those vacant championships.
Well, of course, Carmen, you remember it because it was just about within the hour. The second time we will see tonight the combination of Andy Hansen and Thaddeus Collins make their way down to ringside, victorious in the semifinal of the DCW Tag Team Title Tournament. You have to know a lot of pressure on both of these men. Heavy odds-on favorites, but especially Andy Hansen as DCW Heavyweight Champion.
You have to imagine Andy Hansen knows he's got that target on his back with Jack Passion entering this matchup in our main event. It was 7 days ago we saw Hansen win the Heavyweight Championship off of Passion in an upset. You gotta know that's been eating away at Passion.
Their opponents.
It is Crusher Cottrell that makes his way down to ringside here tonight. And a man who will not do so alone. Backup certainly coming heavy in the form of a former DCW Heavyweight Champion in the name of Jack Passion.
And what a difference a few months makes here in DCW. These two men, certainly it took a lot to keep them apart in the past as rivals, but now as allies, looking to climb to successes they have never seen.
Bound together by bloodshed in DCW rings in the past, but tonight very well may be bound by something a little bit different. Championship gold on the line, our main event here on DCW Synergy.
Introducing first, fighting out the corner to my right, the team of Thaddeus Takeover Collins and the DCW Heavyweight Champion, Andy B-10 Hansen. And their opponents, fighting out of the corner to my left, the Anomaly, Crusher Cottrell, and his partner, the Rarity, Jack Passion.
The Anomaly and the Rarity, Crusher Cottrell and Jack Passion. When you talk about an anomaly, it almost feels as such here tonight to see these men in this position. You talked about it earlier on in the night. You said it just moments ago. To know that the wars, to know that the blood that's been shed between these two men runs deep, deeper than you and I run in this sport, deeper than many will know. Crusher Cottrell and Jack Passion to compete here tonight for the tag team titles against the man that stole away the DCW heavyweight title in Andy Hansen. Those are the words of Jack Passion, not me.
Cottrell and Passion certainly been at the top of their game for quite some time now, and you know that competition, you know, it breeds a lot of emotions, and we've seen these two grown closer together through those battles that they've had, but we'll see if that's able to translate here tonight. Tag team championships on the line. It's Crusher Cottrell, a former heavyweight champion in his own right. Bringing the fight now to Andy V10 Hansen.
Andy V10 Hansen in a little bit of trouble right now, but we're still in the early goings against Crusher Cottrell. I got to ask you about the man that's standing on the outside right in front of us, that being Jack Passion. Jack Passion losing the heavyweight championship 7 days ago in under 60 seconds to Andy Hansen in an impromptu matchup set by Scott Armstrong. I have to ask you, do you think that things might get a little bit emotional for Jack Passion here tonight? He's going to be certainly gunning after the man who stole his baby.
Well, for Jack Passion, he's got to be careful to watch out for that. He can't find himself in a situation where he lets his temper get the best of him, especially if he enters the ring here with Hansen. He's got to be careful not to get disqualified again. Championship is vacated.
Right.
Therefore, a disqualification would help Thaddeus Collins and Hansen walk out with their tag team gold.
Well, and I hate to admit it, but working on the other side of that equation, a countout would also favor either one of these teams, whoever is on the winning side of that equation. So those are the rules that are set for this DCW Tag Team Championship affair, our main event tonight at DCW Synergy.
And of course, your main event is powered by Big Bad Breakfast in Mobile, Alabama. Whether you're fueling up for work or recovering after a big night out, start your day the best way at Big Bad Breakfast.
We might start our day at the Big Bad Breakfast. We're ending our night, of course, with championship action here for the tag team titles of Diamond Championship Wrestling. Talk to me a little bit about the odds you feel in the favor of Crusher Cottrell.
Well, right now, Crusher Cottrell, we've talked about it at length, ad nauseum, about the caliber of athlete he is. Back when he played football, he made his way into the world of professional wrestling. He really ascended to the top of the mountain faster than anyone could have possibly predicted. I got to say, it's hard to argue against Crusher Cottrell here tonight.
Well, the only man who is going to be loud enough, big enough, bold enough to argue against Crusher Cottrell, it is going to be Thaddeus Collins.
And he's as big as they come, launching Cottrell into the corner.
And we're going to keep it rolling here as Crusher Cottrell in a little bit of trouble right now, all thanks to TakeOver Thaddeus Collins.
Collins looking to take over the tag team division here as Hansen watches on.
Cover here and a 2 count only for Collins.
And as we saw last week, you cannot discount your opponent. You cannot enter things a little too lackadaisical, especially if you're Crusher Cottrell or Jack Passion.
Yeah, this is a matchup, of course, featuring 4 men, 2 teams who have already competed in separate tag team matches earlier on in the night. Those were our semifinals here on Synergy. And now our main event, the finals for the tag team titles. You have to wonder who took the worst of those beatdowns in those separate matches, even if these 2 teams did manage to walk away with wins.
Well, they're certainly feeling the wear and tear. We saw just the damage accrued by both teams earlier here tonight. However, whoever walks away here, the champions, they're going to have to show that fortitude. As you mentioned, they're going to have to power through and hang on. Look at this.
Yeah, we talked about things potentially getting personal. Andy Hansen, the man himself, to call in Jack Passion. V10 gets his wish as the former heavyweight champion has entered the ring.
Hansen calling a shot. And as we're getting a close-up of the face of Jack Passion. Passion almost seething here. Former best friends going into battle once again.
Whoa, and a scoop and a slam here on V10. Hansen out of the way, and it is Jack Passion who's going to drop the elbow on a patch of nothing.
It's that momentary distraction. He saw Jack Passion taking a look back at Thaddeus TakeOver Collins, providing just enough time for Andy V10 Hansen to get out of the way.
Yeah, we talk about Crusher Cottrell and the relationship he's developed recently with Jack Passion, and we talk about the heavyweight championship now belonging to Andy Hansen. It almost feels like Thaddeus Collins a bit of a wild card in this matchup.
Okay, certainly the odd man out, so it seems, when it comes to these intertwining relationships. However, you cannot count out the TakeOver on the outside. Certainly could be the X factor, could be the wild card that we need.
Oh, as Hansen going to eat a couple of these shots here from Jack Passion. And Passion, we know this is a man who is not afraid to throw a close fist or two, even if our official may take umbrage with it.
It's not something we traditionally would have seen out of Jack Passion of past. However, this new Jack Passion we're seeing, not afraid to bend the rules.
And the question remaining, are Andy Hansen and are Thaddeus Collins willing to meet them at that place, to fight fire with fire, should it come to that point, Carmen?
I think we'll see that here tonight. As now
cover here one more time for Hansen and a 2 count only for V10.
I think Jack Passion may be having some flashbacks to last week, Walker.
Yeah, certainly so. That DCW heavyweight title changing hands in a way that you and I and no one in the Bullet Bob Armstrong Memorial Arena could have imagined on the evening.
Had a chance to speak with Jack Passion earlier tonight, claiming he wasn't ready for the fight. However, you heard just like I heard. He said anytime, any place.
Cover here, Thaddeus Collins at 2. And the takeover looking fine and good on Jack Passion right now. You know, if there's one thing that I really appreciate about Thaddeus Collins here, Carmen, it's the fact that he's not afraid to throw his weight around. A lot of big men in the sport of pro wrestling might want to minimize themselves, try and fight a quicker style, a junior heavyweight style. That's hard hit. That's smash mouth. That's a man who might be tag team champion tonight.
I'm not sure how quick takeover Collins is going to be here. We saw the damage done to the knees earlier tonight. However, still showing off that power game. Able to absorb the shot of Jack Passion, now delivering with some of his own.
Oh, yeah, and you make a great call there, referencing the right and left knee, both of Thaddeus Collins, that were continuously worked over and over throughout their semifinal matchup. Cover here for Collins. One more time on Passion, and still not going to be enough.
Baudelaire and Blake certainly did their fair share of damage to Collins earlier tonight. See if that comes back into play. Now Collins and Hansen looking to isolate the former champion.
As Collins and Hansen now, V10 takeover. And a takedown right there on the shoulder tackle. Cover here for Hansen again. Still not enough. 2 count once more.
Looking for yet another pinfall on Jack Passion.
You know, you look at Andy Hansen, this opportunity to win 2 championships in 2 weeks. I mean, if this man keeps it up week after week after week, we're going to have to create new titles for this young athlete.
We could be seeing a generational run here from Andy V10 Hansen. We talked about the...
Oh, hold on a minute. I hate to cut you off here, Carmen, but Crusher Cottrell, a real cheap shot taken there on the heavyweight champion of DCW.
We talked about the ascension of Jack Passion and Crusher Cottrell. Andy V10 Hansen looking to outpace them all.
Ooh, and a suplex there. Crusher Cottrell for the cover. Still not going to be enough. A 2 count once again.
And that one right there was close. Crusher Cottrell staying on the attack.
Hansen doing all that he can to try and keep the defense up, but it's not an easy task whatsoever, especially when you're in there with a man who was scouted by nearly every Division I school in America, that being Crusher Cottrell.
Cottrell, absolutely pure muscle and pure aggression. Taking out every bit of that on Hansen here tonight. You got to ask yourself, obviously you know the tag team championships are to be determined here in this main event, but you got to ask, is there still that lingering thought in the back of Crusher Cottrell's mind? He just recently lost that championship to Jack Passion. Could he be having his eyes set on the championship held by Hansen?
That's a wonderful question, one that very well could be answered by the end of the night. Yeah, low angle senton. I like that from Cottrell. Cover here. Still not enough with a 2 count tonight.
Could hit that one from out of nowhere.
And Crusher Cottrell really keeping the pressure down and in. The temperature being turned up here tonight, and takeover Collins right on the apron looking for a tag anytime soon from the V10 Andy Hansen.
The crowd trying to rile up Hansen, trying to fire him up, and now the champion back to his feet, looking to create some much-needed distance. Fights his way.
And again.
I was about to say fights his way from the strong grip of Cottrell.
I mean, this is a shot after shot from Crusher Cottrell that'll knock any man down to size, no matter how tall you stand. Andy Hansen, one of the biggest on the DCW roster.
These 2 heavyweights continue to trade blows. Passion now asking for the tag, and he's going to get it.
Yep, quick tag there from Jack Passion. And certainly no love lost between these 2 men, and Andy Hansen and Jack Passion, but especially after that impromptu challenge. I mean, and you got to talk about it. All the guts in the world to Andy Hansen for challenging for that DCW heavyweight title in the way he did. I think a lot of people in the roster, a lot of people in that locker room may have been a little bit too reserved to come out and shoot a shot like that.
I think after what we saw last week, a lot of people in the roster certainly taking notes. I think their ears may have perked up just a little bit. They saw how Andy V10 Hansen fast-tracked his way to the top of the mountain here at DCW, and I got to imagine there's got to be several people in the locker room looking to do the same.
And I really love to see how Diamond Championship Wrestling, the land of opportunity from this tag team title tournament. To everything else coming in the near future. Look at that. What do we say about chops to the back earlier on in the night?
Hansen never saw it coming. Passion proving to be nastier than ever.
And tag made in the corner again. Crusher Cottrell might be able to bring us to a new depth here tonight.
Look at that sadistic grin on the face of Cottrell. He's enjoying every little bit of this.
Yeah, we've been talking about the makings of incredible tag teams in professional wrestling from years past to today, and well, you're certainly seeing them right here in its infancy for Jack Passion and Crusher Cottrell.
As heated as things were between Cottrell and Passion for so long, I gotta say, give credit where credit's due. They're certainly working together much better than anyone could have expected.
I mean, you start to learn your enemies like the back of your own hand, Carmen, and you are seeing how well that can work in your favor. Jack Passion, though, well, managing to cut down to size. Andy Hansen one more time.
Taking a shot to the base of the skull, right to the back of the neck, and now.
Watch it. Oh! Ooh, driving out. Cover here for Passion, and a 2 count only.
Well, what's this that Cottrell's looking at?
Yeah, wait. Crusher Cottrell is.
Wait, hold on a minute. Can we get a look at this?
His attention, and that is, well, that right there. Well, you know exactly who that is, Carmen.
The Pillars of Pain. The team that the Alliance defeated in the semifinals.
And a spear! A spear from the heavyweight champion.
But the Pillars of Pain seemingly distancing themselves from the former heavyweight champion.
How do you call that distancing? They got a hell of a lot closer, Carmen. They're right at ringside. Passion with a tag. Here comes Cottrell. Here comes Takeover.
This could perhaps be the formal letter of leave from the Pillars of Pain.
We might be jumping a gun there, Carmen. I'm not too certain, but Crusher Cottrell and Jack Passion in a worse way due to the Pillars of Pain being here at ringside, whether they wanted it or not.
Things are breaking down quick here in a big way in our main event.
And Andy Hansen right to the outside sends Jack Passion, and that's Passion done for.
And right now, Cottrell, the victim of the numbers advantage. What do they have in mind here? Oh,
and this is exactly how they made it to the final, Carmen. We might have new champions here.
Hansen with the assist. Double champion.
Takeover for the... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You saw that just as clearly as I did.
Well, turnabout's fair play.
The foot pushed off the bottom rope. We have a new pair of DCW Tag Team Champions.
Here are your winners and the new DCW Tag Team Champions. The team of Thaddeus Takeover Collins and the DCW Heavyweight Champion, Andy Beaton Hansen.
Well, who could have predicted this? An incredible scene.
Again, what a difference 7 days makes, folks. In comes Scott Armstrong and Dr. Tom Pritchard.
New DCW Tag Team Champions here tonight, live in Mobile, Alabama. Wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining us here tonight at DCW Synergy. For Carmen Michael, I've been Walker Stewart. This is Diamond Championship Wrestling, right here live on YouTube.com.